Hello, it is me, it is I, it is Sid the Casket Base. I am here to talk about what kind of tattoos I want to get because I've got a couple of stars on my left leg, but I want to get a bunch of tattoos on my arms, and I also want to get more tattoos on my legs. I have an idea for a tattoo on my knee, and I actually have a drawing of that. I want to get a specific tattoo on my right knee. Um, I'm going to show my little sketch of that if I can find it. I have it in my sketchbook somewhere. Ta-da. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. It's safety pins. See, the safety pin tattoo is a pledge not to harm yourself. Um, and I think that's a very good meaning. I think that's a very beautiful meaning, and I designed it to be special with a little swirly pin and a little star pin because I like those motifs. I think it would look very beautiful. I want to get that above my knee where like the it would be on the space where my professional tattoo of the star would be on my left leg. So, it would be like above my knee on my thigh, on my like lower thigh. So, that's my idea for that. And then on my actual knee, I think I will get a little flower, a little simplistic flower. So I'm going over here to draw a little demonstration of that because it's a very simple kind of symbol. It's a symbol that I draw on things a lot. This one doesn't have a deep meaning. It's just something that I think would be pretty. So that's the little flower symbol that I want. I think that would be great, and I would like to get that on my knee. As for my arms, I've also given it some thought as to what kinds of tattoos I would like to get. I think about grapevines, ivy leaves, octopus, Milky Way, snapdragons, Siamese cat, and yeah, that's most of my ideas because these are all symbolic or special to me in some way. Grapevines and ivy leaves are symbols of Dionysus, which is while I'm not like a spiritual person, I do think that Dionysus is a very cool figure. I like the idea of like the Dionysian lifestyle with he's kind of like his version of spirituality is a lot more appealing to me because it involves like freedom, political freedom, and freedom to do whatever you want in general. Like a lot of uh, empowerment to like people who would otherwise be oppressed. That's what Dionysus represents to me, and indeed he was often a figure that uplifted people who were otherwise marginalized in society. With some exception, I mean, there were sometimes rituals within like Dionysian festivities where men would beat their wives. That's shitty. I gotta say, I think that sucks. But in other ways, women were often empowered by Dionysus. Um, and I respect that. Of course, women deserve to be empowered. Why not? Come on. I think that that's fantastic. Um, and Dionysus also represents like hedonism and stuff, which is very, very appealing to me. He's kind of a hedonistic god, with regards to drinking and like that sort of thing. It's very special. He represents like grapes and wine and stuff. Um, as for snapdragons, that one uh isn't necessarily like heavily meaningful, but that is one of my favorite flowers. It's a very beautiful flower. I love Siamese cats. They remind me of Syd Barrett because Syd Barrett, wrote Lucifer Sam, and that's a song about a Siamese cat. And Siamese cats were my favorite type of cat before I even knew about Syd Barrett, so that's something special to me. Um, as far as Milky Ways, I just that's another song by Syd Barrett. He wrote a song called Milky Way, and I like it. And I also just think space is very beautiful. It represents mystery and majesty, the unknown, and adventure, like adventuring into the unknown. It's something that's very special to me. Um, a sort of unknowable beauty, and that appeals to me, you know, a sort of mysterious beauty. That's what space is like for me. It's like an enigmatic gorgeosity, you know. um, and last but not least, octopuses. This is another Syd Barrett related symbol. He wrote the song called Octopus, and I really like that one. That one's one of his best songs, of course. If you're a Syd Barrett fan and you like his solo work, you probably like Octopus, you know, because it kind of combines characteristics from his solo albums with characteristics that he already had in his albums with Pink Floyd. It's kind of like an in between, you know, like in between his pre and post acid personas, if that makes sense. You know, if you're a Syd Barrett fan, that'll probably make sense to you. And I also just love octopi. I love octopuses as animals. They're beautiful to me, very mysterious, very alien, much like space, you know. And I think that's gorgeous. So, and the besides the safety pin and the flower tattoo, besides those are everything else that I listed are things that I'd like to get on my arms as like sleeves. I would love to get sleeves to cover up much of my arms on both sides. And yeah, I might in the future get a tattoo gun because I know that my stick and poke is beginning to fade already. That's something that's normal because I used pen ink to make the tattoo and it has begun to fade. It's done that quite quickly, and that's predictable, but in the future, perhaps I could touch it up with a tattoo gun. Um, so that would be nice. I would love to do that, but for my arms, like my sleeves, and pretty much all these tattoos that I've listed today, besides what I just said with the stick and poke, besides the stick and poke, everything else I would probably want to get professionally done, not with a tattoo gun at home. But I would still probably keep the tattoo gun for any future ideas I may have, as long as they're simple, because I don't really trust my ability that deeply. Um, yeah, so, thank you for joining me today. I was just, I'm glad to, talk about my future plans. These would be far, far in the future because I don't have the money for this kind of thing right now, and getting full sleeves is very expensive, especially if I decide to go through with having color in the tattoos, which would be nice, but that also fades quicker than black and white. So, you know, that's a lot to consider, but these are just some ideas I have for the future. I would love to get tatted up because I like to use my body to express myself, and that's something that I would like to enjoy in the future when I have the money. But that would be far in the future when I have enough to do something like this. And to be honest, like having the money to medically transition or having the means to medically transition, however that goes, that would probably be something I would prioritize before tattoos, or at the very least hormones I would prioritize before tattoos. Like top surgery is a future endeavor, but these are all things that I want to change about my body in order to feel happier and feel more like myself. So that's why I bring up, you know, transition as well, because these things are relevant to me, you know. Um, I yeah, that's all I have to say. I am I'm very glad to talk about all this stuff. And I hope you have a nice day, all right? I love you. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're a dingus. Maybe I don't love you, but I probably do. You watch my videos and that's pretty nice. Thank you. Have a nice day.